So I recently saw this reel where someone who's apparently so famous is rushing into a phone store, offering $10,000 to whoever fixes his broken phone. Did I find her interesting? No, but apparently a lot of people did. And so as part of another project I'm working on, I needed to watch the movie in order to confirm that it really is what I assumed it is, a bad movie. So in this video, I'll share with you my own experience watching this little piece of work called Forever My Girl, and you be the judge. Well, judge too if you don't mind. The movie starts with a wedding scene in a small town. Josie is to be married to Liam. Everyone's happy, but then this guy Mason, who's Liam's best friend from high school, comes to the scene.
Josie, you look absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Mason.
For a second I thought that he has a crush on her or something, but it turns out he's only bringing the worst news possible to a bride on her wedding day.
Kira.
Yeah.
Can me and Johnny talk to you outside for a minute, please?
Sure.
The groom isn't coming. Not sure why he had to enter so casually and tell her she looks amazing first. He could have just called Kira to meet them outside if the goal was to minimize humiliation. And why does Johnny seem so happy? Also, what the hell is Kira doing? So 8 years later, we learned that Liam is now a big shot music star who casually sleeps with his fans.
See that blonde in the front row?
Already on it. Jack's put her in the car.
We also learned that his old cell phone is the most precious thing to him ever. That's why it's on the floor getting jumped on. Repeatedly.
No, it's broken. You broke it.
Wait!
I'll give anyone $10,000 if they can fix my phone.
When you watch this scene on Instagram or YouTube Shorts, you assume that there must be a reason within the movie that would make sense as to why he's running barefoot with such rush to a cell phone store to get an old cell phone fixed. I mean, it's a broken device, not a dying pet. There is no time limit on that. But no, not really, no. It doesn't make any more sense when you watch the whole movie. Actually, it makes less sense when you watch the movie. According to some witnesses, it's right there. Now he finds out that Mason, from the first scene, has died in a car crash.
Mason Belmont of St. Augustine did not survive.
So inspired by the room, he goes to some rooftop to drink and litter and basically act like a 4-year-old. And eventually he does go down, but he's not gonna go to his next concert, and he's not gonna tell his manager to cancel it, because his old friend died and he needs to attend the funeral. That would actually make sense. So here's what he does instead.
Hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you get me out of here right now.
Yes, sir, boss.
It's his own car and his own driver. He works for him. It's his job. What $1,000? So he gets to his hometown to peep on the funeral. Sees his ex-fiancée, who kind of ignores him, which makes sense, he should be dead to her. But then she realizes that her first reaction made sense, so she decides to ruin it. Then we understand that he ghosted the entire town that wedding day, including his father, whom he didn't talk to ever since he left. Why?
For no particular reason.
I'm in my hometown right now, in Louisiana.
He actually threatened the driver the day before that he'd fire him if he told anyone where he is.
If you want to keep your job, I wouldn't tell anyone where I am.
So what was all that drama for if you're gonna tell him yourself in just a day?
Where are my credit cards? All I have is the cash in my pocket.
So you were offering 1,000 here and 10,000 there while only carrying some cash in your pocket?
Do they have Uber here, or how else am I supposed to get around, Dad?
Think your old bike is still in the garage?
So evidently this whole scheme was written to produce a scene where he's riding a bike. So funny.
Hey, Pat, I think you should go.
It's quite a punch you socked me with yesterday.
That was just a warning shot.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. So this is where you work.
I own it.
What is this conversation? She wasn't stood up on a date. He didn't show up for the wedding.
How old are you, Billy?
I'm 7.
And of course, it turns out she was pregnant. And this little girl named Billy is his bastard.
I called to tell you I was pregnant. I left you some long message begging you to call me back.
So the message that he supposedly listens to every day for the past 8 years, and the reason why that phone is so important to him, was of her begging him to call her back after he walked out on her because she needed to tell him that she was pregnant. Which doesn't sound like the kind of message you listen to every day for 8 years. It's like a daily reminder that he's a piece of shit. Also, it's not like she's dead and this is what remains of her.
And then I promised myself that if you didn't have the decency to call me back to find out what was so important that I had to tell you, I was never going to contact you again, because Billy and I, we deserve better.
named her after my mom, Josie.
Okay, that's all you have to say about that? Wait a second, why does Billy Snow have brown eyes when both her parents have blue eyes?
I don't get it, Liam. You were such a good kid. You were a great son. You were so in love with Josie. What happened to you, Liam? What happened?
Yeah, what happened, Liam?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Billy. She's my daughter, too.
You have a right to know your father.
We should invite him over for dinner.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You amaze me, child.
What is amazing about that? She's 7, why wouldn't she want to meet her father?
Okay, Maria?
Really? Random keystrokes that make 0 changes to the fake laptop screen. Very convincing.
Take as many selfies as you can. They're in the car.
Wow, I guess they didn't want to bother removing it in post.
Say, if I wanted to buy an espresso machine, how would I go about doing that?
Okay, you Google it, you click buy.
Oh, so it's that easy.
He's been famous for 8 years. Not born in prison.
I was terrible. I mean, I don't know how to do kids.
You don't know how to do anything. There is absolutely nothing resembling a character whatsoever there. I can't tell whether the character is supposed to be kind of Forrest Gumpish or something wrong with the actor.
I can't accept this.
That's it? You'll just take it back?
You're gone for 8 years and now you want to pick up my daughter from school?
Our daughter.
Fine. Tomorrow, meet me at 3 o'clock.
Thank you.
Do not be late.
I won't be late. I promise. What time? What time was it again?
Liam?
I know what time it is.
You know, half the movie sounds like deleted scenes that they ultimately decided to keep for lack of better ones.
Now?
Yeah, on the count of 3. 1, 2, hold on. Be careful now. And 3. It smells good, doesn't it?
Wow, that's a very convincing cooking scene. He's stirring. The air.
You should have seen her face, Dad.
You should see all this gumbo.
All this imaginary gumbo.
What do you got in there? Some bricks?
A lot of gumbo. What's on top? That's a lot of gumbo.
There was no money left in the budget for the gumbo. They spent it all on the pancakes.
Nothing's gonna happen between us, Liam.
I never said it was. Hey, Josie.
Yeah?
Is it alright if I pick you up from work tomorrow?
Okay.
Who wrote this? Right.
Why'd you leave my mama?
Yeah, Liam. Why?
I was young and dumb.
Why didn't you take my mama with you?
I was so young. I didn't know how to handle being famous.
In other words, the writers couldn't come up with a decent reason.
Billy just asked if she could call me Dad.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I know.
It's forever, Liam.
So he's only responsible as a father if she calls him Dad.
You know, there is something I would kind of love to do with you. To go on a date with the Liam Page.
Okay, so he gave her the humiliation of her life by not attending the wedding. Didn't even call her back after she begged him to. Then 8 years later, she happens to be still single. He shows up for a week. She ends up asking him on a date. Out of the blue, actually. That didn't even come out naturally. There wasn't anything leading to that. That's way too easy.
That almost never happens.
Billy!
Now his daughter is choking, and this is supposed to be him freezing because of some old trauma from when he was a kid.
Mom, Billy and Paige.
Her full name, so you know that this is his mother. Now it's fine that he froze, it happens. Nothing unusual here. What I don't understand is why they made him keep chewing. For a bit too long, actually.
I can't believe you smashed your hand through that bar mirror.
There was no such scene. At least show some damage on the hand. I can't believe you smashed your hand through the bar mirror. Who even speaks like that? They either did the scene and it looked really bad, or they couldn't even make it in the first place and were like, I'll just say it happened.
I'm sorry that I left you. I'm sorry that I didn't get in touch with you. I honestly don't know why I did it.
Well, that clears things up.
Waiting for somebody at the only place you'll see.
The logic of this sequence is just mind-blowing. He just apologized to his father for leaving in the past. So he leaves again in the very next scene? What's the story even? His daughter chokes, so he decided to abandon her? I've never seen so much nonsensical forced drama in one movie. This is probably the handwriting of the writer, because she can write for shit. And just like a million other movies, he hears a speech and gets inspired, decides to get off the plane and run back to Josie.
I need to get off this plane.
And of course, for that little cliche to take place, he was made to leave in the first place. Couldn't he have just made the private jet flight to New York, get refueled, and then proceed to Louisiana?
See, my mom was the love of my life until I met you.
What?
Thought of possibly losing you one day, the way that I lost her. Thought my heart couldn't take it, so I ran.
I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense.
And of course, some more cliches and rain for the dramatic effect.
Josie!
So eventually he does attend his wedding, happy cheesy music in the background, and the movie ends with him supposedly in a large concert in Berlin. But of course there is no budget for that, so we get those shots from angles that don't make any sense and 6 people serving as the massive crowd. And the end. So the verdict? I assumed correctly. The movie is rated 6.6 on IMDb. I give it a 4.9. It's a great movie if you're high, or your food is getting cold and you still didn't find anything to watch. Maybe you're cooking something or ironing a shirt and want something in the background, or someone is already watching it and you don't have the option not to watch it. But if you do have that option, I recommend you take it.